Okay, we're in the Hulk, which is a Takeuchi TL12 V2. It is wet. There's a little bit of sun peeking out, but it's a cold, wet, and dark. There's always a better time to do any work with heavy equipment than at a time like this when it's so darn wet. You may be able to see it raining in the puddles ahead of you here. But I want to get a little more soil up for where the blueberry rows are going in the blueberry plot. Elon, the TV290 excavator, Takeuchi excavator, to dig out a swale system the other day before we had a good 24 hours of rain. And Pond 6 is overflowing, going down here. I just laid out a new string line where I'm going to be depositing some of the soil from down and back. This is going to be wonderful. I can feel it now. So I'm trying the Insta360 Insta360 RS. It's a new camera I got. Trying to see how well we can see inside of when I'm operating a vehicle like this. I've got the front Lexan door closed. It slides up so it hit the camera if I need to open it. I've got a magnetic mount up there. Oh yeah, the water's running pretty well. Try not to jerk myself around too much. I hate working when it's so wet, but if I'm going to be able to transplant those blueberry bushes, I'm going to have to move quickly. There's geese up there on the roadway there. I don't want to disturb them. Dump some of that water out. Heavy, wet, mucky material. Sand and sediment mixed together, which will make a better drainage and have a lot of nutrients in it. But there's going to be tons of weed seeds in it, of course. To work more gradual slopes coming down through this spillway here, because as I go through this each time I'm digging it out a little bit deeper and making the banks a little steeper. And when I start taking a trailer down here, I've been researching an aluminum trailer that I can bring the boat down and back here. I really wish I had a floating dock or a floating structure that I could put the plastic, I know the beaver will eat right through it and sink it. It's just natural for them to test everything out. This material here. You see it wiggling like a fat belly in the bucket. And the system that I'm using to mount the Insta360 is not necessarily the most stable item, so I don't know how well I should have checked to see the stabilization of it before I came out here. You see there's lots of sticks and materials in the soil. Down with the rakes and potato fork and pitchforks to remove as much of the material out of here as possible. But by material I mean roots and grass balls and all that, to try and decrease some of the difficult things to manage after everything's transplanted down. A little bit of sunshine peeking through the clouds out here. Very nice. On my chest I've got the GoPro Hero 10 Black. I'll be doing another review in the next week or so about some of my experiences with the GoPros. 3 years ago I made a video about my experiences with the GoPro cameras and the Karma, which is their drone, and their grip with a gimbal that I've used for years. The Hero 5, which I got, I think it was 2017. When the Karma first came out, I loved that. That worked in the drone, but the gimbal started giving me troubles, making a rattling sound and becoming unstable at times, intermittently, but it was enough for me to get frustrated using it. And the other thing that was happening was the Hero 5, just in the last few months, the image quality had started to decrease, and I had gone ahead and reset the camera and all. It's real heavy, wet stuff here, by golly. So I reset the camera, tried different SD cards in it, formatted them each time, and that's just a good practice, is to format the SD cards, the micro SD cards in the cameras regularly. But the color of the images started to fade some. I don't know what caused that, but I reached out to GoPro, and they were absolutely fantastic as usual. And so I've got a GoPro Hero 8 coming to replace the Hero 5 that I sent in. So hopefully that'll be coming in the next week. After I get it, I'll give you a review on it. is completely saturated with water. If I had my choice, and I do have a choice, but I would rather have waited a couple of nice days of high winds and sun to dry things out. But it's sprinkling right now again. But we're going to have more rain this week, and we probably will have high winds, which will help to dry out the soil some. But it is springtime. Today's April 8th, 2022. So what we'll end up having is we'll have all of the berry bushes and trees budding out, and we don't want to stress the blueberry plants when we're transplanting them. So we'll see what I'll be able to get done. He has been working in the coop area, remodeling that. Operating a track loader nowadays, it's I think young people would have a real easy time right now. So this arm here, pulling it back, lifts the arms up, pushing it forward, drops it, moving it in, curls the buck up, this dumps the bucket out. So it's really a wonderfully designed piece of equipment. Now this operates the tracks. So this engages both tracks in reverse by pulling the left stick back. By pushing it to the left, that makes the left track go faster than the right track. Pushing it forward makes it straight forward, makes it go straight forward. Curling it to the right, curls to the right, slows down this track. Curling to the left slows down that track. So it's basically like a tank. One of the key benefits of having now I'm going to click it into a higher gear, so this is for travel speed, and that's just a finger switch, like in a game you pull the trigger, and that just switches it to higher speed. Then I've got all different buttons and switches to operate various implements or attachments to the track loader. Operating the grapple, that's awesome, but this can have a mulcher on it, a boom, a post hole auger. Squeaking sound. Sometimes with all this muck, we'll get this muck caked in around the tracks, the sprocket, the rollers and all. This is a really well designed system, and it's real easy to clean out. But if a stone or a stick gets stuck in there, it can make some pretty significant noise. When I dug this out, I purposely tried. Now I got to move forward some. So I got a backup camera right here on my main display. And so when I go forward, it's going to disappear, tell me my fuel, my temperature, my depth, all of those things, and the different attachments, the temperature of the vehicle. The turtle means that we're going slow. The rabbit means that we got it in high gear. Every time I go through this area when the water's running pretty rapidly, so I got to bring this up some, it tends to excavate out the lower part, which means it's more of a dive and more of a climb out. Whoops. I don't know what's going on. Unit's rolling here on me. So, yeah, this Takeuchi TL12 V2 for the vertical lift. That maintains the bucket nice and level as you're raising it, and it keeps the bucket directly in front of you, as opposed to a radial lift where the arms bring the bucket back, and it can dump it right on top of the cab. I've done that before years ago. Both the name of this Takeuchi TL12 V2 is the Hulk, and previously my Komatsu CK35 V2, which is a big heavy-duty track loader like this, that was also a vertical lift. And it really makes life easier when you got a set of pallet forks on the front of it, and you just want to maintain everything at the same level. Yeah, it is one muddy day here. I don't know if people on YouTube would like to see 360 videos where you use your mouse cursor to manipulate the camera so you can see in front of it. You can see my hands operating the vehicle, you can see my feet. I've always been interested, so as you watch as the vehicle moves, ideally, a split screen would probably be the coolest thing, so you can see what this camera sees simultaneously with what the 360 sees. I'm going to do a review on the bumper. It also has a winch and a 2-inch receiver and a couple of D-rings welded onto it. Just kicked it into higher gear. The bumper, the equipment attached to the bumper was made by Precision Armor. I'll be doing a review about it. This thing has already saved me. With Hound, you may have noticed in old videos, if you go back and look at the old videos, you'll see a retaining strap, an orange strap that you would use for holding down material in the back of your truck or trailer. And I'm not yellow, orange, I'm sorry. And I use that to help hold the back gate of the access to the back of the track loader where the radiator is kept on. You need that back gate or back door to protect the radiators and all the equipment, internal equipment in the back of the machine, because that's where all the power is back there. And somebody had evidently smashed into a tree or something, or a building, and really made a big dent in it. So I used to have to use that strap to hold it closed. Well, I learned from that. I did straighten it out before I sold it. But one of the things I learned was that could happen. So I started searching for a bumper, and I saw a video by V-Belt and Son. They have like a tree service that goes in and move up over here now. But I keep looking in the rear view camera here, or the screen, what's going on behind. But if I were to bump into something, which I already have with this piece of equipment, I'm bumping into the bumper. So right now, I don't know if you can see it, there's a great big tree directly behind me. And that bumper that you may be able to see in the screen is just a few inches away from that tree. But the bumper will hit the tree and not the back door or the camera, and do lots of damage. So that right there, that cherry tree, was what I could have bumped right into. So having the camera there is really good. And you can't see it with the way the camera is here, but I've got two rear view mirrors up here that can help me to see just how close I am to something. But it's nothing like having the Tesla, which gives me how many inches I am from everything. That is a delight to have. I got these two Takeuchi, the track loader and the excavator. Man, these things are just, they're a dream to operate. The cab is so comfortable, the seat is comfortable, I have room. I didn't have nearly as much room in the Komatsu, the Hound, as in the Hulk. Visibility is better in this piece of equipment. I may end up installing another backup camera in this one. I think I will. I'll be putting one in the back of the Kubota Grand L6060. But I gotta say that the visibility with the side mirrors, you'd really knock off in the places that I'm in the woods. But if anybody has had experience with mirrors, additional mirrors for a piece of equipment like this, I'm really interested in hearing what folks have to say. I have thought about putting magnetic mirrors right on the arms here, just outside the window, the ones that go up and down. But again, I've got so many big grapevines, things in the forest where I work, where that could be a major issue. And the issue being getting knocked off, that wouldn't be so bad, but then I'd definitely crush them if I ran over them. And I don't know, I'm going to turn this camera down so I'm not sure that, okay, a little too much now. I'm adjusting the camera instead of paying attention to what I'm doing. I put 99% of it right there in that one pile. Great, Kevin. So that's too much soil in that one spot. But we'll make do with what we've got here. Of equipment like this is so easy to operate, but I would really be reluctant to let anyone learn to operate it in the locations that I'm working in down here, where you've got to spin 360 on its own axis, carry big loads, drop-offs on the sides. You know, when you're first learning with a piece of equipment, you really want to have as large a space, as flat a space as possible to safely operate a track loader, especially one this size, because this can really sculpt out, make these much more gradual. The inlet to this swale and the outlet to the swale, depending on which way you're looking. And certainly, one of the things always to think about. So another advantage of, before I finish that thought, another advantage of the bumper on the back is there's like 300, maybe 350 pounds of additional weight, counterweight for, it's like a ballast for these heavy loads that I put in the bucket of this track loader. And I won't get that route right now, but again, the cherry tree's right behind me. I'm creeping up on it. So with all this weight in the front of the track loader, you need a lot of weight to maintain your center of gravity midway with the tracks, because this bucket is out in front of the tracks. So when I go down here, the whole track loader, once we get past the fulcrum here, so I'm going to raise this up. Now this machine is going to dive way down. Boom. And you don't want to do that very fast. Do it nice and slow and gentle. So when you're driving around, it's one hand navigation. Forward, backward, left, right, turning around on its own axis, spinning around in a circle like some people would call it a tank turn. So, and you know, your thumb and finger can operate other pieces of equipment simultaneously. And this one can operate your whole loader and bucket apparatus. Another thing I really like about the Takeuchi track loaders is it's hydraulic over hydraulic. So in other words, when I wiggle this to try and get as much material that's stuck in the bucket out of the bucket, by my hand moving back and forth, it is making the bucket really shake at the same rate that I'm moving it, as opposed to electronics over hydraulic. Electronics over hydraulic, if you're going real fast, it may not move at all, because you hit the switch one way, and before the switch can have a chance to react, you're already back to that same position, even though you went to the opposite side transiently. Checking my rear view mirrors and the backup camera, because there's trees right here. By lowering the arms, you get more visibility out the side windows.